Hi, my name is Keith Kondrich. I'm the Executive Director for the Society of St. Vincent de Paul here in Pittsburgh. And for today's Monday meditation, I'd like to focus on a passage from the Gospel of John, chapter 8. It's a passage that I'm sure, again, many of you are familiar with. Jesus spoke to them again, saying, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." Whoever follows me will have the light of life. There's a great old Jewish parable that goes something like this. A rabbi is talking to his students, and he asks them this question. He says to them, "When is there enough light in the world? When is there enough light in the world?" And so the first student to chime in is the youngest, and he's very enthusiastic, and he wants to impress his rabbi. And he says, "Rabbi, I know the answer to that. There's enough light in the world when you can tell if a body of water is moving or standing still. There's enough light in the world. If you can look off in the distance and tell if a body of water is moving or standing still." And the rabbi shakes his head and he says, "No, that's not enough light." The second student, again, a little bit younger, wanting to impress the rabbi, raises his hand and says, "Rabbi, I know the answer. There's enough light in the world when you can see a tree in the distance and you can tell whether it's an elm tree or an oak tree. You know what kind of tree it is off in the distance." The rabbi says, "Nope, I'm sorry, that's still not enough light." The third student, a little bit older, a little bit more mature, has had time to think about the question, says, "Rabbi, I know the answer. There's enough light in the world when you can see a person approaching and tell whether that person is a man or a woman. As far off as they might be, when they get close enough to tell whether or not they're a man or a woman, there's enough light in the world." The rabbi again shakes his head. Well, the students are perplexed. They're not quite sure what answer the rabbi is looking for. And the rabbi then says to them, "There's enough light in the world when you can look into the face of another person and recognize them as a brother or a sister." My friends, that's what we are called to do, and that is what the light of Christ gives us the ability to do, to illuminate the people around us, to see each other as brothers or sisters, despite whatever differences we might have in politics, in religion, in sports, in music, in hobbies, in lifestyle. Despite whatever difference we have, the light of Christ illuminates us, enables us to see that person directly in front of us, that person that we encounter at any given moment, as a sister or brother. All those differences fade away with the light of Christ. And so this week I challenge you to think about those people in your lives that may be difficult for you. Perhaps it's a coworker. Perhaps it's a family member that you've been estranged from. Perhaps it's that curmudgeon that lives across the street in your neighborhood. Perhaps it's somebody on the street corner that you pass every day and think of as that person. Use the light of Christ this week. Let the light of Christ illuminate your vision so that you can see that person as a brother or a sister. You know, there's a lot of talk these days about Pope Francis. He's the star of the media in so many different ways, and he's got such an inspirational and powerful message. And the way he deals with people, the way he presents himself to people, is often commented on, and journalists call it the Francis effect. The Francis effect. And Cardinal Supich from Chicago describes the Francis effect as this. He says, it's the way he looks at people. It's the way Pope Francis looks at people. He makes people feel as if they're important. He makes people feel that they are truly a child of God. When he looks at you, you feel the love of God. You feel illuminated by the light of Christ. So our challenge this week, my friends, is to again use the light of Christ to illuminate the people in your lives especially those people that might be difficult for you. God bless you and have a great week.